Did you ever wonder how much money you actually need to buy a house? Well, today on Sit Down with Sandy, we're going to tell you how much. The first thing you're going to need is your earnest deposit. This is also known as your good faith deposit. This is where you're putting a certain amount of money down in the beginning of the contract to show the seller that you really mean to purchase the home and you have good intention. This money is typically held by the title company and it becomes credit to you towards your sale at the closing table. This amount can be anywhere from a couple $100s to a few $1,000s. Really, that is market dependent on where you are and what property you are looking to buy. The next thing you're going to need is your termination option fee. Here in Texas, we have a little portion of the contract where you can buy the first few days of the executed contract period. You're buying the right to terminate the contract for whatever reason you want. It's an unrestricted right. You change your mind, you get cold feet, you find another house that you like better, or you go through inspections and negotiations are just not going to happen. This fee can be, again, a few $100s to maybe even $1,000 or so, depending on the market. This fee is also credited to you at the closing table if you do move forward with the sale. If you don't move forward with the sale and you exercise your right to terminate the contract within this period, you get your earnest money or your good faith deposit back. The only cost to you is this little termination option fee that you paid, and you are free of the contract. Once your contract is accepted, right away you're going to have to order your home inspection. This home inspection has to happen typically within that option period that we just talked about. So you have to be quick and you have to be on it. This fee is going to be due at the time you order your home inspection. These can run anywhere from $300 to $500 depending on the size of the home and all of the amenities and extras the home may have. This is a non-refundable cost to you. If for some reason this contract does not move forward and get to the end, you do not get this money back. Also, it is not credited to you at the end of the sale. So this is a true cost to you and your expense all the way from beginning to end. Depending on the kind of financing you have, your lender will probably require that you have a WDI inspection. That's a wood destroying insect inspection. This is important to make sure that you don't have any termites or carpenter ants that are chowing down on your house before you purchase it. If you do, these situations will be rectified before the home is yours, so nothing to worry about there. This cost is an extra cost to you. They range anywhere from $75 to maybe $150, depending on the inspector that you use. This fee is also not credited to you at closing. This is an expense to you, but it is a very small price to pay in order to know your house is wood destroying insect free. As you move through the process of purchasing your home, your lender is going to have an appraisal ordered. This home appraiser is going to go out and inspect the home a little differently than a home inspector. What they're looking for is to find the value of the property in which you are purchasing. So they want to make sure that if you have a list price, for example, or an offer price of $200,000, that the home actually has the value to hold that $200,000 price. So that is something that's going to be paid for prior to the appraisal being ordered by your lender. Your lender will charge you that fee, typically around $500, and that's going to happen maybe about a week or two into the contract period. This fee is also not refundable to you, but is a necessary tool that we need to have when you are financing to purchase a home. Now, let's talk about a down payment. Again, if you are financing a home, you have different options, and some of them are going to require you to put a down payment. This amount could be anywhere from 3% to 20% of the purchase price of the home. This is going to be required at the closing table. So although it's not needed in the beginning, it's very important that you have an idea of what that cost is going to be at the beginning. Put that into your savings account and don't touch it because you need to have that at closing to go towards the purchase of your home. Oh, the dreaded closing costs. This is such an expense to buyers that sometimes can be a little bit scary. These closing costs are what it's going to cost you to work with a lender and also have the title company draw up all the legal documents to purchase the home. These closing costs are necessary because you need to finance a home. Now, if you're purchasing with cash, you're not going to have the same amount of closing costs. They're going to be drastically minimized because you're only going to have a few title fees. But because you're financing a home, you're going to have these closing costs. These costs are your expense, and they are not credited to the purchase of your home. So these are going to be funds that you're going to have to bring to the closing table. Now, in some markets, fees are able to be negotiated and have the seller help contribute towards those. So make sure that you know what market you're in, talk with your realtor, talk with our team, and know what finances you're going to need. These closing costs, if you just wanted to ballpark a number, are going to run about 3% of the sales price.